Well, John, thanks for joining us again here as we talk about the Olympics, and just wanted you to get your kind of general thoughts as we head into the weekend.
Well, as we head into the second weekend, I think it's interesting that some doubts about China as a host site, I think, have sort of eased a little bit. There was an Associated Press poll this week found that 55% of Americans think that it was a good idea to have the Olympics in China. I think about a third of people said it was a bad idea. Most pollsters will tell you whatever you ask, there's about a third of people that are going to think it's a bad idea, even if it's like apple pie. So I think they have kind of gotten over that hump. Now, some questions about some of the things that are happening in open ceremonies and about the age of some of the women's gymnasts did not help their cause, but so far so good for them. I find some interesting things in the Olympic medals count to this point. We're talking about this on Friday, and there have been 103 medal events as of this moment. The U.S. obviously is leading in total medals. China has the most gold medals. What I find notable, Russia only has 3 gold medals and only 19 medals total. They were second in all medals 4 years ago. There's some thinking that increased drug testing and the scrutiny of Russian athletes and the general change in the system over there may be having an effect on what the Russians are doing. There were several Russian athletes who were thrown out of the Olympics before they began because they had tested positive for drugs. So it could be that we'll see a bit of a sea change there. The most amazing thing, Canada has not won any medals. My Canadian friends say this is part of a problem that had cropped up in 2004, that they don't feel like their Olympic sports management is very good. And at least to this point, as we head into the second weekend, I think there's going to be a lot of second guessing in Canada when they get back from Beijing if they don't pick up the pace and throw up some medals. When you are trailing everybody from Togo to Uzbekistan in the total medals, that's not a good sign. Obviously, Michael Phelps is the news. By the time you see this, he will have either won or not won his 7th gold medal. I think it's important to remember that this is a tremendously successful Olympics for him, win or lose. He does not have to win 8 gold medals to be regarded as a success. I think it's tragic almost that 4 years ago he won 6 gold medals and yet somehow was perceived as a failure because he did not win 8. On the other hand, his success takes up a lot of oxygen that could otherwise go to athletes in some other sports. I think women's gymnastics certainly got its due, although let's admit it, this great all-around performance happened after a lot of people were asleep on Thursday night. So other fantastic performances, Natalie Coughlin of the United States, a veteran swimmer, has won 5 medals, but only one of them is gold, 3 bronze medals. That's not going to be perceived as being as great a success as it is a tremendous accomplishment to be one of the 3 great athletes in the world. I'm glad swimming is about over because I think it will give a chance for us to assess what has gone on away from the pool, and it will also let what was once the signature event of the Olympics, track and field, to take center stage. In an opinion poll that I saw this week, track and field had slipped to 3rd behind gymnastics and swimming in the sports that people are really interested in. And I think that as much as anything has to do with concerns about drugs and are these legitimate times that are being run by these guys who may have found some way to avoid the drug testing. So big week for track and field. Brittany Reese of Ole Miss will be competing in the long jump next week. We'll talk some more about that next week, but I'm looking forward to the weekend, and I hope if you haven't had a chance to tune in to any Olympics to this point, come on, give it a shot. College football hasn't started yet, and it's endlessly entertaining, and it's even a little educational. So don't tell anybody, but it's okay.
Very good. We didn't talk much about this beforehand, but is there a moment that stands out to you so far about this? I guess it's got to be Michael Phelps at the moment, the kind of signature moment of these games, or do you think we've seen it yet?
I think his teammate with the tremendous leg of the relay that he performed in the pool. I think all about the pool at this point. I think as more people see the 1-2 finish for the United States women in women's gymnastics, that will continue to become a defining moment. We may yet have the defining moment. The 100 meters with the 3 fastest men ever in the world will be a big event. Oddly, it's not going to be shown live. It's going to be a delay broadcast for NBC on Saturday. But you could see 3 men all come in under the world record time in theory. I haven't heard much about the track facility. Obviously, everybody knows that the pool was designed for world records. Haven't heard too much about what the track surface is like and what the conditions there are, but we'll know pretty quickly after the 100 meters whether this is going to be a fast track and a track that can provide maybe a handful of significant records, or maybe even go back and break some old records. And we'll know that. We just won't see it live. We'll have to see that in delay, and I think that's unfortunate.
Well, John, thank you very much. Appreciate you joining us.
Always a pleasure. Have a great weekend, everybody.